Hello again, and welcome to TMA.
Hey!
So today on our webisode of whatever, we will be talking about our favorite subject, and that is
Dating.
hey. So we're going over a little couple things. So don't get bored. Sit here and watch us. I mean, we're good. So Anthony,
It's going to be the best 12 to 15 minutes of your day.
best 12. So what do you look for in a man? Like, what is your dream man?
So I do have dream boy qualities that I look for. I usually tend to like guys that are a little taller than I am, which isn't hard because I'm not that tall. But I like tall, dark, and handsome. I love a good beard. I think a beard is super sexy on a guy.
Beard, like I can't do beards. Like it's too rough. Like I don't like it. I like your beard because you're my friend. So
and because we don't make out.
Duh.
I like beards. My biggest quality that I look for in a person, because I'm kind of superficial, is not necessarily looks, because you thought I was going to say looks. It's their taste in music. If you don't have good taste in music, it's not going to work out.
Anthony is a big music person. So
I'm a big music snob.
Yeah.
I really am. Like, I can't even pretend like I'm not.
Yeah, all the shit that I listen to, he says is fucking horrible, so.
I judge people on their musical tastes. If you, like, one of my first questions is, like, what's your top five favorite bands? If you can't name that, like, you should always have a top five on hand for bands, I think.
Britney Spears. Backstreet Boys.
And this is our last episode of In Bed with TNA. We're done. Music is just really important to me, and the older I've gotten, the more I've realized I need to be a little flexible, because, like, I might not find someone that has the same exact taste as I do. And it's kind of hard because my taste is so impeccable that no one's going to be as cool as I am in my musical taste. But that's the dream boy. The dream boy will make me a mixtape that will make me swoon. And
swoon? Swoon?
And it'll be over. Like, we'll run away into, like, the music store in the sky and just, like,
the sunshine.
buy records and listen to mixtapes and, like, eat gelato. It's a great thing. So that's kind of, like, my main thing. But, yeah, if you're a little scruffy and you have a beard, so much the better.
Holla at him.
Still single.
I think for me, like, my biggest thing, like my non-negotiable, as you can say, would be your sense of humor. If you can make me laugh, which I love to do, Avi.
And you think she laughs all the time? It's just that I'm really funny.
He really is.
She doesn't always laugh this much.
But yeah, like you have to make me laugh. You have to be able to keep my attention. I get bored quick. And I like sexy men. Like, be sexy. Like, it's okay to own your sexuality. Like, come on, be like, hey, bitch, I like you. You're cute. Like, holla. But yeah, that's the biggest thing
the
for me.
The feminist inside of me just died a little hearing her say that.
I know, horrible. I'm sorry. But yeah, and have money. Like, don't be broke. Like, buy me something. I know nowadays, like, women are, like, independent and, like, oh, we can have our own shit and we can do everything for ourselves. But, sometimes we like that old-fashioned, like, oh, he brought me flowers and he brought me, chocolate and, like,
She wants to be a 1950s housewife and be supported.
But I'm not white. That's the only thing. So, but, like, no, that would be nice for me. Like, take me out, like, to a movie. I like, martial arts movies. Like, my boss, I know it's crazy, right?
But, okay, so here's the catch with Tia. Like, she says all this stuff, and, like, this boy would come along and be like, hey, Tia, let's go out on a date. And she would say no. Because
I'm weird.
Tia does not date.
I don't. It's horrible. That's why I'm so glad we're doing this topic. Because I have no idea.
Is about to turn 28 in a few days.
My birthday.
And she has never been on an official date.
No one wants to take me out. Well, people do want to take me out. But
people want to take her out, but she says no. She has set up dates and then canceled. I yell at her all the time about this.
I have.
There's people out there that want dates and can't get them, and she's turning them down.
I know.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, it's so horrible. But see, this is why I have you as a friend, and you can help our viewers. Like, tell us. Like,
Tia doesn't go on dates, but she likes to live vicariously through my dating life.
Because they're amazing. His stories is amazing.
And I wish I could tell you like these great, amazing, happy dating stories, but most of my dating experiences are pretty semi-horrible.
Interesting.
I've had I've had some really bad dates in my life. Really in the last like 2 years is like the majority of my dating that I've done, and I've done a lot of dating in the last 2 years, and yeah, I've had some really, really, really bad ones.
It's been interesting. So like this new fad that we started, and like we talked to a couple people at work, is like online dating. Like I think that's the newest thing that came out from like technology and stuff like that, and apps and different apps. Like for me, we have Moco Space for the black people, and we have POF and like Badu. Badu is like for young kids and stuff.
White people can use POF too, by the way.
You can. They're cute white boys on there. Just saying. Like what type of apps do you have? Like,
so there's a few more in the gay world. We have like the POF and the OkCupid and all that kind of stuff, but. I meet most of my boys off like Scruff and Growler, and I wouldn't call them dating sites. They're really more like hookup sites, and like, but you can use them for whatever you want. I've had dates off of them. I've had hookups off of them. I've had a lot of different experiences off those sites. But it makes it really easy to like connect with people that you probably would never meet in real life or come across in real life. So that's kind of one of the fun things.
Aspects of it.
Yeah, of apps like that is. You meet people you would have never met in your everyday normal life.
So for a person that's like new to dating, Anthony, like what would you do? Like, like what type of experiences have you done? Like what have you been through?
So
like,
for me,
what's one that sticks out in your mind?
So normally for me, a first date would be going out for drinks. So I had met this guy on Scruff. We started chatting. Really cool, had good taste in music, seemed like he might be like a good candidate to
Not
date.
a creeper.
No. So we ended up deciding to go out for drinks. Woo! I didn't know it was going to be a keg party. This guy proceeds to, so like I can drink. I can handle my own when it comes to drinking. I'm trying to be, a little conservative because it's a first date. You want to make a good first impression.
Yes, you don't want to be a hoe, basically.
So I'm drinking a beer. The time it takes me to drink one beer, he downs 2. Finally, I finish mine. He gets me a second beer. He's at, I think, 4 beers at this point. I was going to only do 2 drinks. Convinces me to take a 3rd beer. So I'm drinking my 3rd beer. He's on his, 6th beer at this time. I'm babying my 3rd. He does another 2. So he ends up drinking, a keg by the end of the night. And is very, very drunk. So we end up going back to his place. Probably not the best.
First date.
Yeah, probably not the best thing
ever.
to do on my part. But, we end up back at his place. And the first thing he does when we walk into his house is he opens a bottle of wine. Not like anyone needed wine.
Just sharing.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
So we end up watching some TV. I think Friends was on or some shit. And one thing leads to another, and a little making out happens, and he basically passes out. So I go home, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is a horrible, horrible first date. I'm never gonna hear from this guy again. Texts me the next day. Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing at all.
So I was very, one-word answers, Finally, he calls me and is kind of talking and hey, how are you doing? I had a great time. And I'm like, really? You had a great time? Do you even remember what happened last night? Do you remember how you got home? Do you remember anything? His response is no, fill me in. So I proceed to let him know exactly what happened. No remorse. It was nothing to him. This is his normal experience. He does this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I just could not deal with that. It was a bit ridiculous. So then he proceeds to kind of take it out on me, trying to talk shit on me, oh, I'm so judgmental and I'm not giving him a chance and this and that. And it's
well, fuck you. Basically.
You're a fucking alcoholic. I think you need to be checked into Betty Ford because you don't even know what's going on. Like, you don't even remember the night. Like
shit. You lucky you weren't like date raped or something. Shit, like a roofie in your drink. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that you would. But I'm saying it happens. Okay, it happens.
I don't think he would need a roofie. He would roofie himself. So yeah, that was probably my worst date so far. But just recently, like maybe a month or two ago, I went out on I don't even know if you'd call it a date. It was kind of like a meeting. Could have been a date, possibly, with this guy. Didn't seem like we had a lot in common, but, you know, I'm trying to be open and give people chances and whatnot. And we went out for drinks, and he didn't get drunk. He wasn't a big drinker. But as the night went on and we talked, like, we had zero in common. Nothing in common. Like, just complete opposites. And then to make things, like, even worse, this is one of the pitfalls of, like, online dating and that kind of stuff. Like, you don't really know exactly what you're getting into.
Sure don't.
Because, you know, like, he wasn't super attractive, but he was okay, like, in his picture. But then when we actually met, surprise, he was missing most of his teeth. He had, like, 2 teeth.
So what do you do in situations like that, though?
You smile, finish your drink, and go about your day.
Like, oh, someone's calling me.
Yeah. I
got a page on my beeper.
we had our one drink. We went our separate ways. I went to the Cortez, played some Keno, called my friend to come down and hang out, and
Sounds like a good night.
The night ended up well after, you know, drinks with Toothless. So you don't really think you should have to ask that, but, you know, that might be something like, oh, do you have all your teeth?
Should be on the questionnaire. I'm just saying.
Should be. So we're almost out of time, which is crazy.
For us, yes.
And we haven't even touched on everything we wanted to talk about. So this installment of In Bed with TNA is going to be our first 2-parter. To be continued. ... There's going to be more fun on episode 4, which is really more like 3.5. It's going to be like 3.5.
For it. Stay tuned.
So after you finish with this and you hit pause or done or whatever, just hit start on the next one and we can finish this, okay? Because
wrap it up.
I still have more stories. I know, crazy. You're like, God, this guy's been talking for 10 minutes straight. I have more stories for you.